Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Data Science AI Cloud Sunday. Um, how's everyone doing? My name is Pablo. I am a data scientist, and I am also a data scientist transitioning into cloud and AI skills using Google Cloud services. How's everything going? And again, just a note. Data Science Sunday is Data Science, AI, and Cloud Sunday evolved from the Data Science Sunday. We had 151 episodes, and then it was about time we evolved this session into Data Science, AI, and Cloud, because the cloud and AI skills are super important in the future of work. So it's typically for beginners who are building their data science skill, but it's also ideal to leverage on cloud and AI skills as you proceed. Right, so nothing changes, just a few layers has been added on top of the data science, but yeah, so that's what it is. All right, so Data Science AI Cloud Sunday is powered by Collab Innovation Hub. Collab Innovation Hub is the first innovation hub in Kaduna, and I think Northern Nigeria. And the part of what we do is to prep our community members for the future of work, make them ready for the future of work based on talents, tech talents. But one interesting way, part of our vision and part of the pillars that guide the vision at Collab Innovation Hub is building communities around tech skills. And so this is it. This is an example of building communities around a community around the tech skills. So we're building a community around data science, AI, and cloud skills. And it makes it pretty easy for folks who are not in a physical community, to connect and get things started. So this is it. And this is the second episode, right, of the Data Science AI Cloud Sundays. And super interesting and super buzzing for me to be taking this second session. In the first session, we worked on the Google Cloud Lab. However, there was a little bit of issue in the Google Cloud Lab, so I'm going to redo that today, and yeah, so we get started. But we also have a session where we typically ask questions. So if you're new on the Data Science AI Cloud Sundays, feel free to indicate. And if you feel like you have something you want to talk about, also feel free to share. If you want to share, just basically raise your hand like this and I'll let you speak. And you can also drop a message or you could drop a text or a chat in the in-call message. You could basically say hi, tell us what you do, just like this, and we'll interact. Right. So please feel free to at any point to raise your hand and let us know what you're doing. Are you a data scientist? Are you getting started? What are you doing? Are you having any blockers? Please feel free to share. It's also an interesting session where we listen to folks who have achieved stuff, or who not achieved but have done stuff for the week, and typically try to share what they've done during the week. If you have anything you're doing and you want to share, please feel free to share. It's sort of like an accountability session, right? And also which is the interesting part about this, but also there is another part to it, which is where we do the technical stuff. In the previous Data Science Sunday, we would basically do a knowledge bite and then go on to write code or write Python or do like a demonstration of the data science skill. All those things are still there. However, we just added a cloud, platform to it. And within this week and going forward, we'll be learning a lot about the cloud and how it works, how you use the cloud services and AI services to build your data science skills. So you can go from a local Jupyter notebook and scale. Because when you get into the future of work, you typically find yourself in a cloud environment, and it's ideal to be ready for that. And so, for Data Science AI Cloud Sunday, we'll be using the Google Cloud Platform. But again, it's ideal for us to, for me to walk you through the Google Cloud Platform and make it easy for you to learn with it. So today, what I'll do mostly is share a lot about how to get started with the Google Cloud. Right. So do we have any questions? Anyone with questions? Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some, I'll be sharing some links in the in-call message area. The first of it is this is called is the is skills.google. No, let me basically get the link itself so that you don't get pretty confused. So I'll just share this here. Right, so you can click on this. Now, I'll also share my screen just so as to let you know what I'm sharing and how you can also navigate that, right? And so, just paste this down. Right, so if I just shared, and the link, what I've shared is called skills.google, so which is skills.google. So you're basically going to see a dashboard, which is, with this dashboard, you see a bunch of stuff in it. And so this is what the skills.google dashboard looks like. It has a lot of stuff going on in it. For folks who know me, I sort of lost my streak. I had a 13-day streak going on, and I lost it because I made a few mistakes. I made a mistake, but I'm going to talk about that. But again, I started it from scratch. Hopefully, I'll get to another like 5 million day streak or something. But yes, we'll talk about this now. The Google, this used to be called Cloud Skill Boost, but that's called Skills, the Google, and in it you find there are a lot of opportunities for you to learn cloud skill, and depending on even the path you want to follow, if you can choose a path, and you can see that there are things you want to do. If you want to go the ML, you want to go the ML way, you want to go the data way, you want to go the dev tools way, infrastructure, productivity, you're here. And yeah, so for instance, if I go data, then I will be presented with a bunch of learning parts that are around all this. If I choose ML, then I would see a bunch of parts that drive me towards the ML side of things. But I think one that is really interesting is the catalog. The catalog is it's well organized, where you can search out what you want to do. You have default ones that you want to work with, like from courses. You have from courses to labs and learning parts. And you have levels, introductory, intermediate, and advanced. And of course, I think we speak in English here. Also, if you feel like you want to get a skill badge or a completion badge, but there are different ways for you to work on this. Yeah, so this is basically what it is. You would have to get to this, you have to sign up, and once you sign up the first time, right, you would of course you would have to sign up, put in your details. There's something I noticed, folks you typically need to have Google Cloud credits to do some of the labs. You need credits to do some of these labs, and if the first time you're signing up, please sign up for something called Google Innovators. There's an Innovators program. I think it's called, yeah. Let me see. I would have to find. There's an innovators program. Just let me pull that out from where I have it. So you could just sign up for that. That works really well. Let's see how I can find that. Yes, I'll show you what that looks like. As a community. Let me see if I can find a community. Yes, this is it. Let me just share this with you guys here. So this is what it looks like. This is what it is. You can become, yeah. Again, you can. There are a bunch of ways you can jump in on it. You first off, you can be a cloud innovator, so you can search for this. Let me basically search for this. I think it's really important for anybody that's getting started, yes, to jump in on this. Yes, you have something like this. So I'll just share this. I'll advise you sign up to it. And if you're asked which community you want to sign up for, just say the GDG community. So I'm going to put this in here. All right, please go ahead.
Okay, the question I have is the GDG community, is it GDG Kaduna or just general GDG?
Just you see GDG. Did you see Kaduna there?
You know, I'm about to do it. I'm just wanting to clarify.
I just GDG. I
Okay.
think it should be GDG. Yeah. So just sign up for that. So when you do that, you get monthly, you get access to monthly credits, 35 credits. So yes, that's one. So folks who are signing up to this, it would, but when you're signing up for the first time, you're going to get access to it. So that's that. Also, you can also, we have the GDG Cloud community. I'll share a link to signing up to that so that you can sign up. I think it's ideal to also be in a cloud community, and it sort of makes it easy for you to, so just you can click on become a member, and yeah, you have access to this. So you look for GDG Cloud Kaduna, and then you can sign up to it. Like you search for here, right? Maybe like Kaduna. There's GDG Cloud Kaduna, but this is because it's on my page and I'm already one. But when you search for it, you can type GDG Cloud Kaduna. With Kaduna, you see that there are events that are going on there. You see a bunch of things going on, and you just sign up. So you can see like there's the data science, AI Cloud Sundays. There is also, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Aisha, so you can go ahead, please. Okay. Sure, you could, when you're ready, please feel free to. Yeah, so this is one part of it, just so that you can have you could just have a cloud community while you're learning data science. All right, so this is one. I would also share a link. So if you're learning data science from scratch, two things. You could jump in on you could jump in on this. You could start off with the Anaconda Navigator, which is this. That's one. So you could jump in and get started with this. Also, you can also start up with the Google Cloud, Colab.google, which is like a Jupyter notebook in the cloud. So this way you have this. So you can basically you can open a new notebook and everything you have is in there. Now, the really cool stuff is if by the time we talk about signing up to the Google Cloud Console, you find out as we jump on several things, you find out that we also have the Jupyter Notebook in the cloud. That's another one. So really cool stuff. So you could use this. You could either use this. This works on-prem, but this works in the cloud. And when you have stuff in the cloud, it's super. It comes with a lot of stuff. First off, it's scalable. You can share it easily. You can choose different run times to work with, and all run times mean you can get yourself compute resources. You have generative AI tool and generative AI APIs attached to them, so you can use them for a bunch of things. You also have Google Gemini, which is also super cool for you to use to do stuff. You can see that you can get started and write what you want to do, and then you're going to get yourself a lot of help. So it has Google Gemini embedded in it, so really cool stuff to work with. So yeah, so this is one. Also, we have there's the Cloud Study Jams going on. The Cloud Study Jams 6 weeks program. You can still jump in on the Cloud Study Jams. I would also share a link to this. I'll also share a link to this so you can jump on it if you're interested. You should be interested because it's great stuff. Aisha, please let me know, is your hand still up from before? Okay. Maybe she doesn't know. I'll just lower her hand for her. Yes. Right. And now one cool stuff about this is they have some available courses that will be running. You have a chance, you can learn a cloud infrastructure, big data analysis, AI, cloud applications, and system design. Right, and you can see that these are available with courses getting started with Google Cloud. You can also begin an introduction to generative AI, which is, you learn generative AI concepts and fundamentals of LLMs. And you can also build and modernize generative AI products or applications, which is really a great concept. Here, you see, you build the guides to how you could use Google Gemini's large language models to build and integrate AI services, Google AI services. And there's also Gemini for Google Cloud Learning, which they're fantastic courses. Now, just to encourage folks to learn, again, there are swags here. Like if there's a tier 1 swag, look at that. There's a tier 1 swag here. And so that means if you complete this, you get a sticker. It's a sticker you get. I know some of you are looking and saying, oh, whoa, I get a laptop. No, it's a sticker you get. And you get access to this very cute looking sock. And for those that like tote bags, you get this really cool tote bag. Now, if you complete the whole courses here, there's an additional bottle, Google Cloud merch bottle, and Google Cloud cap, right? And so, but when you're done, just fill in your information and all, and right. So please register, just register. Really simple stuff. I'm already registered and I'm just doing my thing, right? So just register. And again, look, it has a period for which it ends from the 6th of October to November 20th. So we just have like 18 days to go. So sign up to the Cloud Study Jam. Really, really cool stuff to build your skill sets. And yeah, so I think that will be that. And also, just so you know, if you missed out on this, You can also sign up to my YouTube channel, which is the Data Science AI Cloud YouTube channel, where you can catch up with a bunch of things from cloud skills down to data science skills, fundamental data science skills. You could jump on that. So this is this, right? So please check it out and take your time. Don't get overwhelmed by any stuff. Now we also have a group, a community where you can always find us, right? The community is here. Let me share the links. The WhatsApp and Telegram channel is called the Data Weekend. So in the Data Weekend, you would always find us doing that thing on the Data Weekend. So here it is. Again, I have it linked, the Telegram and WhatsApp. Just click on it, jump in and interact with folks. And yep. So that's that. Do we have any questions? Any questions, guys? All right. So why don't we jump in on what we have for today? Now, last time out, last time out I did a session. Okay, so I was going to tell you guys now, if you're signed up to this, so this is like your if you're signed up on this is where it's gamified. So just to encourage people to build streaks and consistency. Now, whenever you have this, there is always something for you to do on here. So I think why I lost my 13-day streak was yes, on a Friday, I went ahead to do something I had done before. I think that does not count. But I was first done something I haven't learned before, and go on to do stuff I had done before. I think that's the reason why I lost the streak. But that's fair, that's fine. Streaks can always be built. Remember, it's not about the streak, it's about the consistency. So yeah. So that's that. Right. And again, any questions, guys? Questions? All right. So last time out, we did stuff. And if you check out our last session, you realize I got stuck doing a lab. And I had to go back and wonder why I got stuck doing the lab. And I figured there was just a tiny bit of stuff. And so today I'm going to redo the lab so as to show you how labs work. I'll redo the lab, and then the part where I had the issues, and you can see you might have that issue too, because you would think typically you're supposed to take a certain step, but again you now find yourself in limbo or something, or in a loop. So I'm going to help clear that up. So yeah, what else? Yeah, so stuff like that. That's what we're going to do. So, and also, we're also going to eventually do stuff around AI. And let me see. We're going to do stuff around AI. No, and data science too. So let me see, where's mine? For that, we'll get there. I'm trying to find out where the hell that is. For instance, this course, yes, this course that I'm working on. Okay, hold on. Not this. Let me go back again. So if I was to, let's see, this is the part. I think this is the part. Is it this part? Yeah, so you can see there's Gemini for data scientists and analysts. We're also going to check out this in future, right? We're also going to check out creating ML models and boosting productivity. We're also going to be talking about BigQuery. BigQuery is a big aspect of data in the cloud. And so we're going to be looking at all this as we proceed. These are different courses. I'll encourage you to jump on them. So you can see here that part of this course has integrating generative AI into your data workflow. And you can see in here, Gemini for data scientists and all. So I'd encourage you guys to jump in on it. It's a part, I'll share this, especially for folks who are in the data science space. If you can jump in on this, I have it here. Right, I'm already on this. So there's a bunch of things in this that we're going to be doing, but we're going to do that some other time, but not today. I want to just get back to what we were doing the last time, which is, I think this was it. Was this it? No? No, this isn't it. Let me get back to my dashboard. Yes, no, this was not it. Let me look at the catalogs. So yeah, let's check this out. This is it. So this was supposed to be an introduction to the BigQuery, and it was going to be like a quick start on BigQuery console. I think this was what we were doing last time out, right? And again, part of what we're doing here is so that you just get used to using this, and then when we get used to this, right, which is using labs, taking courses on Google Skills, then as we proceed, I'll now basically introduce the GCP console, which is this, the Google Cloud Platform. As we proceed, and we'll do a bunch of things. We'll do really simple stuff. We'll just start getting used to it. But for now, we are going to, do some labs on this. We'll do some labs here. So, I mean, there's a bunch of things here. You can see a lot of stuff that can be done here, but we'll talk about this as we proceed. Funny thing, I have never really thought about it, right? Doesn't the Google Skill Boost have like a dark? Doesn't it have like it should, right? It should have a dark screen or something. It's wild. But that's just that's just by the way, but yeah. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. But let's basically do a walkthrough on a lab, and hopefully as I walk through this lab, it gives you that impetus. It gives you that like a springboard for you to jump on these labs. These labs are pretty easy, and they basically give you the opportunity to get used to using an introduction to the Google Cloud Console. So yeah, please confirm, can you see my screen? Is my screen clear enough? Do I need to like make it larger or something? Is it clear enough? Okay. All right, thanks, Clyde. All right, so now basically when you jump on the cloud, you're definitely going to you would eventually get to talk about this, which is a data warehouse, which is called BigQuery. It's a data warehouse. It has a bunch of data. It has a lot of data sets in it. I was checking out the open data on COVID-19, really huge. If you look at the details, you see that's 22 million rows. Yes, over 22 million rows. You can see the size, like 11 gig of data. So yeah, so we're going to look at this part, but now to get used to using this, Let me just reduce the bunch of stuff from my to get used to using this. You would get a part of it is knowing how to use these labs. Now, this labs gives you a shot at using. If you don't have access to this, it gives you a shot at how you can make use of it. But you just have to follow. The lab has instructions, and you have to follow the instructions. Now, one thing about this space is, or using labs, is that it also makes you inculcate some habits or some values that makes it easy for you to learn. For instance, instructions, reading out documentations and all. So you can see that there are a bunch of instructions to follow for you to get through the labs. And at the same time, it's, you get to learn a bunch of things, right? So I'll get started with this. Now, whenever you get started with a lab, you have some things you have to do. You have some milestones, so to speak, some tasks. So here you can see that the bunch of tasks you have to do. Query a public data set, create a new data set, load data into your table. And that's basically what you have to do. And so you can close this. Also, there are lab instructions, right? So you see that to protect your account and progress, always use private browser windows and lab credentials to run this. So what it means is if you have a Google Cloud platform and you have credits like money in it, it's ideal for you to use this on incognito mode, because that's better. It separates you from using your GCP credits, which is like real credits, and you don't want to run out on that, right? And also, you will see that it's pretty simple. Google Cloud self-paced labs, really interesting way to understand it, because it's self-paced. Even though you got yourself 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes to learn how this works. Now, so let's basically lock in. Now, with the overview, you get there's a breakdown of stuff. You get to understand what BigQuery is. See, an enterprise data warehouse, and helps you to solve problems with SQL queries. And again, I know some people jump up and be like, oh, so I have to learn SQL. Well, it's an exciting skill to learn. So again, as we proceed, we'll get into learning a lot of these skills that help you jump in on it, right? Again, you can also access BigQuery, which is what I just showed you in the GCP, my own GCP platform here. You can see that. And with this, you will get to see what you can do with it over here. Yeah, later. Right. Oh yeah. You hear that? We can basically do like a split view, but which is something where you can see that I can typically find maybe the dashboard I'm looking for. I think this is it. No. Derived insights. Here, this. So this is typically what I was trying to do at first. So where we can split this and at the same time you just have this. I think this was just introduced recently, but I think we can also separate the views. And so it's out. All right. Which I think a lot of people would almost always want to have a split view where they can have things going on. So yeah, like really cool stuff. Right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to query a public data set from BigQuery, which is the data warehouse. Lots of data. It has lots of services inside that makes it easy for you to perform a lot of data workflows. And we're going to create a new data set. We're going to load into that data set. We're going to load a new table, and then we'll query the table we just loaded into it. Now, before you start, it's ideal for you to click the start button and before you start to use the resources, right? And when you do that, you would have to follow a bunch of instructions. Now, really cool thing in the part when you clicked this, you were forced to do a bunch of things, but now it's been simplified. So I'm just going to get started. So when I click the start button here, it is going to unload the resources that makes it easy for us to, get used to the Google Scale platform. And it's going to get opened in a bit. Just give it a little bit of time. Yes. Now, again, you can see this information here says, when you're in this console, do not deviate from the lab instructions. Doing so may cause your accounts to be blocked. So please do what the lab says so you don't get blocked, right? Now, the next we're going to do is we're going to right click on this and I'll open it in incognito mode, right? So this is incognito mode. Now, the reason why doing it in incognito mode is ideal is so that you don't affect any credit you would have if you had GCP going on. So just basically have this here. Now, so the timer has started, so it's time for us to jump on our tasks, and so we get started. Now, in the past, it's expected that you put in your username and password, but I think over a period, they figured that this takes a lot of time. So all you just have to do is come over here, and you would basically click on. You get a short stuff going on where you now, accept the terms and conditions for what you're doing. So this is it. We have this and we're getting started. So we'll be following all the instructions that are here. So we're going to be starting from here. Right. I mean, again, I like the dark mode. So even when I'm doing it here, I basically go and pick up the dark mode immediately. And I like to jump in on the dark mode. So I'll save that. And so let's get started. Now, the first stuff we're supposed to do is we're supposed to activate Cloud Shell. Now, Cloud Shell is a virtual machine, and it has a lot of development tools, right? And helps us to do a bunch of things. And it has a lot of Google Cloud resources. And so here we click and activate Cloud Shell at the top of the Google Cloud console. So this is the Cloud Shell here. So if I click on this will get activated. So this is typically the way the lab works, right? And then we get to authorize and we get a chance to get started. So it just mimics the real environment. And you can see that it's provisioning your Cloud Shell machine and then try to connect it to an instance. So this is what so while that's going on, right? We're going to see what a Cloud Shell looks like, and it's basically like a terminal, but this terminal is dedicated to your projects and the stuff you do on here. So while that is provisioning, and once it's ready, it will be open. So you can see this is here, and yep. Let me see if we can make this larger. Yep, we can. Even though we would eventually drop this down, but we can make it larger so folks can see. Now with that, it tells you that a bunch of things you can do. You can also like find out, if you copy and paste this, you can see a bunch, some of your accounts, details, and what you have, right? And you can also, if you have projects, it's going to list out the projects you have if you put this command here. So you can list out this command, you can see, so this is the project. We're going to talk about projects in future, but here let's just get used to what we're doing here. Now, so the first task is to open BigQuery. So you have to open the BigQuery console so you can interface with the query tables and have access to public data sets. So we go to the navigation menu, and then we just scroll through and we'll see BigQuery. So when we click on it, to show you the BigQuery interface. So we could minimize this. Yes. And so you see, this is the BigQuery interface, right? I'll just click down. Right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sort of bringing it a little so we can see everything on the screen. Right. So you can see this. We could just basically close this here. So we see everything on here. We could close this too. You can see that there's a Colab notebook. You can always try that out. There are a bunch of things in here. So we have this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the instructions. Now, this instruction says the BigQuery console provides an interface to query tables, including public data sets offered by BigQuery. The query you will run accesses a table from a public data set that BigQuery provides. It uses standard query language to search data sets and limits the result returned to 10. So the Google Cloud console, we're already here. Now, the next thing we're supposed to do is to query a public data set. So first to say, click plus to query a new query. So basically, you see this over here. When you click plus, it brings you to this, where you can run queries, an SQL query. And there's already an SQL query for us. So we could just basically click on it and put it in the BigQuery query editor. Now, really cool stuff. When you put up a query, which is typically from a public data set, you can see over here, it tells you that, look at the amounts, this is what you're on. Now, as you proceed, right, you'll get to a point where you have to learn stuff about, optimizing for the cost of what you're doing, because, it's pay as you go. So the stuff you use, you get charged for it, right? So this is it. Now, this sample data holds data on US birth rates, right? And so you see a green check displayed depending on whether the query is valid or not, right? And if it's valid, you see a green check here, right? And then you run it. And then when you run it, then you get to see, of course, they're going to tell you, look, it's on-demand cost, so be careful what you're using because you have quotas and all. So yeah, so you can see that the result shows us what we're looking at here, right? So just to show you how that typically works. Now, just to be sure you've gotten this done, we'll click on this, and it will tell us that, and to show us over here that we have achieved one of our progress, so which looks good. And at the same time, you learned how this works. Now, the third task is we have to load a custom data into the table. You first need to create a BigQuery data set. Now, data sets help control access to tables and views in the project. Now, this lab uses only one table, but you still need a data set to hold the table. Now, in the Explorer pane, near your project ID, click on View Actions. So now when we come in here, there's something called the Explorer pane. You can see that over here. So when you click on it, you see this is the Explorer pane. Now, all these things take some getting used to, right? So, you just read through it. So you see the Explorer pane near the project ID, click on it. So over here, you see that is, you see click data set. So now with this, what we're supposed to do is look for this guy and then look at this guy over here. So here I have this guy and click on this guy. So you can see that it says create data sets, right? So this is the first thing we have to do. So here we'll create a data set. Now over here, we have to give it a name. It says give it baby names. So I'll just copy this over here. Right. Next, it says leave all the other fields to their default setting and click create data set. Now, so we leave every other thing. In some other cases, depending on where you're working, you have to specify a region or depending on how you want it to work. So, but here we just create the data set. Now, so now they say about now, if you go over to Explorer, you see that over here. So if you come over here and you will see, when you come over here, you will see that this now has baby names inside of it. Right? You can see that the baby names here. So that means with this, we've done this task. So you see, we just come over here just to complete it, and then we check and says yes, completed the task. Now the fourth task is load data into a new table. Now say next, you create a table inside baby names dataset. Then load the data file from your storage bucket into the new table. Now the custom data file you use contains approximately 7 MB of data about popular baby names provided by the US Social Security Administration. Now, we're going to follow this step. Now, this was where I was last week, and basically, I thought for a bit that I didn't even know what I was doing, but I later figured it out. Now, in the Cloud Console, select navigation. So we're already here. So what we're going to is we return to the Cloud Console. Now navigate to baby names dataset by clicking View Action. So this is it, right? Now inside, near that, you create click table, create table. So which this is already what we're looking for. So we'll create a table. And so this was where we were last week, right? If you watch the last stuff, you notice that when I got to this place, I was like, okay, somewhat's wrong. Now we'll follow this. We're supposed to, create a table from the Google Cloud Storage. So here we'll go to Google Cloud Storage. Now Google Cloud Storage is also on the Google Cloud platform, and it's for storage. It does a lot of storage stuff, so you can store a lot of stuff in it. So, and Google Cloud Storage is another area of knowledge in here. So, but this isn't what we're doing today. So let's just focus on something else. Now we are supposed to select data from GCS bucket. So what I was supposed to do was I was supposed to copy this, and here I was supposed to paste this. And so once I do this, it will be here. Next, the file format is a CSV file. So I come over here and I get the CSV file. Next, I'll have table name. I'll have to give the table a name. And so where is that table name? And I paste this here. Next, they said slide on. You see the schema, edit the text. So let's see. So we'll keep going here. So we'll put this slide on here. So we'll have to edit as text. So we'll copy all this here. Slide on, then add the following in the text box. So we'll copy all this, which basically just gives us a sense of what is expected. So I put this here. Now we'll click on create table. So we've done all this, right? And so when we get over here, we'll just click create table. And so the table will be created. Now, if we look inside, now you can see that inside this data set, we now have a table inside of here, inside of this, right? And if you've done that correctly, right, and you click on this, it will verify that you have done what you're supposed to do. So you can see it will verify that you've done it, and it will let us show you your progress and all that. Right, so that's one. Mind you, as we're going on, our time is still going. So that you have to be really, you have to know that that's working. Now, next we have to preview the table. Now check your table, view the table. So click on the names here. So when you click on these names, this here, it will open this and it will give you a preview of what you have. So you can see the schema names, and just similar to everything we talked about, gender, name, counts, the data type, strings, this is an integer, and the modes where they can be. We can also look at the details. You can see what it is. Not really much, just 33,000 rows, and it's not really such a big data set. So all that. You can even preview your data and you'll see what is inside. You can see that there are names. And it has a count of how many times these names have been given, I think. And so, yeah. Now, the task we have is to query a custom data set. Now, running query against a custom data set is identical to querying a public data set that you did earlier, except that now you're querying your own table instead of a public table. So in BigQuery, click the plus icon on the top. So in the BigQuery, see the plus icon? Right, so you have a query editor that pops up, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to write an SQL statement. We already have one here. So when we run this here, so basically it selects name and count from our table here, and it filters for where the gender is male, right? And then order by counts 5. And you can see over here that if it works, it gives you this, let you know that it works. So we can run this, and this is going to show us what we're looking out for. So you can see that, right? And so you can see that we have names, right? Order by count, limit 5. So you can see over there. Now, so we run this, and just to be sure it's working, click on this, right? And so you can see that we can check, it's basically checking our progress. Now, whenever you use this, it sort of tests your knowledge when you're done. Now, there's something called a challenge. Some of them have challenges. For instance, in this one, there is a challenge. The final part of it is a challenge lab. This challenge lab is really interesting. Here, you would have to do this without help, which is where you test your real skills and everything, your skills and how well you've done. Over here, you can see that we already have this going. So you see it's 100 of 100. We already have this done. Next, a question. Now, BigQuery is a fully managed enterprise data warehouse that enables fast, super fast SQL query. And I think it's true. So that's that. Right. So when you do that, it tells you congratulations. You know, you've used BigQuery to do a bunch of things. Right. And then it tells you, you know, the stuff you're supposed to do. It suggests a bunch of things you can do and all that. Right. So this is basically it. So with this, you've learned to do a bunch of stuff. You've learned to use this BigQuery over here. You've learned to use that. And this is actually the BigQuery in itself. And this is what it looks like when you're doing a lab. You can see your project ID. Project ID here is different. With this, I have a bunch of project IDs. You can see different projects here, right? And yeah. And so also, so you can see the difference here. Here, this one, it's live. It's you know, I don't have any, I can do what I want to do here. Here with the labs, you have to work according to the lab instructions. And these are the lab instructions that are here. So you can see they tell you stick to the lab instructions and all. Now, when you're done, you simply just go over here and end the lab. And when you end the lab, you can put you can basically write any comments if you want. If you just give it any stars you feel like. It typically just is like a feedback, like how good was this? And you click submit. And once you click submit, this stops. Sooner or later, you would lose the resources to this because the resources will be gone, right? And so, but again, before it goes, you could just basically look through a bunch of things. But there's so much in here that you could learn if you can use this as an opportunity to say, oh look, I'm a data scientist and I'm also transitioning into cloud engineering, and I typically want to know how to use the Google Cloud infrastructure to do a bunch of things, plus data workflows, or even trying to host applications on the cloud. So there's so many things you can do, and really interesting stuff. Like there's this place, it's called Marketplace here, all because this has APIs, a ton of APIs and all that are here. So you can see the different APIs, the Marketplace, where you can just search out for APIs. But these are what we're supposed to do. But just so you know, there are so many opportunities for you to do stuff with this. And so when we're done, we can just close this, and we're back here. So this is what it's like. Again, last week, this was what I wanted us to do, and get used to this. There are lots of stuff we can do for data scientists, and also we can also leverage on generative AI services, Google Gemini services, to scale up our data science skills, because this is typically what's happening in the future of work. I think I showed you guys there are let me see. Is this the one I pushed through? Please go ahead. Yeah, so you can go ahead and ask.
Yes, I did. I followed up on everything which you've done, and just like I had previous experience with lab through Coursera, but I'm about closing or going to a different link. That's URL on the same, or that's on the side menu now. That's the BigQuery navigation menu, and it's telling me I should save. So, oh, sorry, I was looking up. I didn't see the save. I think I just saw the save button beside the one button.
Yeah, you can. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Right. So there are lots of stuff we could do. Let me see. I think I have. That is a part. No. Hold on a bit. Yes, I want to show us some here. All right. So there's this. Yeah. So if I click on this, this is a course using BigQuery for machine learning. Now, when this comes up, okay, let me go back to the beginning here. Yes, so you can see with this, I shared a link to it. You'll see integrate generative AI into a workflow. Now, you can see inside this course, there are a bunch of things you can do. Gemini for data scientists and analysts. This is really an important one. You can see it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours. Just to give you a sneak peek into it. So you can see what this is. Of course, I've completed the course, but you can always take it. You see, introducing Gemini for data science professionals, for data professionals. There's a lot you can do inside. You can also, there's also a very interesting one I like, which is, let me see, where you can typically use notebooks in the cloud. You can work with notebooks in the cloud. I think this is it. Yep. Gemini for data analysis using BigQuery inference. So there you can use notebooks in the cloud, especially in this one. I think it's in this one, and you can analyze data with it. Yeah, and you will see how working with notebooks in the cloud is really, really interesting. Right. Either this one or when you take the main course, you would see it in there. But with that, you get to see how you can typically use do a bunch of things with that. You can build models and all, and really, really great stuff, right? And you can when you use your notebooks in the cloud, they all come with Google Gemini, where you can from there write Python, and then from there you can just use you follow that pipeline to test the model you have built, and from there, if the application you're using is also on the Google Cloud, you can basically just have that routed to the application itself, and then you will serve the model straight into the application. So it's like a one-stop shop for everything you're doing, right? But again, this is just an intro to it. There's a lot on the Google skill stuff. Again, I'll encourage you. I don't know if I told you guys, if you're signed up for if you're signed up to, where is that again? To Cloud Study Jam, you get 200 credits, right? I didn't say, I don't remember saying that, but you get as much as you get the 35 credits for being in the innovator program, right? You would also get cloud credits. If I over here, you would see, if I show this in the subscription area, you see credits. So you see that I already have my 35 credits for the months, and I already have this again. I have 344 total credits, which means as you can see the credits when I started out. This is for the Cloud Study Jams, right? This is for the Cloud Study Jams. It has this, you can see this Edu. This is like the code for the Cloud Study Jam. Now, when you successfully sign into the Cloud Study Jam, you can see you get 9 credits. Then, when you now do some of the courses and all, then I you see that I have 200 credits. Right, so, and some of the things you want to do would need you to, work with the credits you have, right? And so, that will be very helpful for you to get started with that. So I'll encourage you to jump on that and start learning to use these cloud services. Then when we start getting used to it, just like we're getting used to in Data Science Sunday, we start by writing introduction to Python and all. We get to a point where we start to do real stuff, like using notebooks in the cloud, creating models, and then doing the whole workflow. And there are so many data what I call them data services and data infrastructure tools that can be used on GCP. BigQuery is just like one of the big dudes. There's also AI. There's AI, Vertex AI. And you can see that we have dashboard. We can do a bunch of things here. There are notebooks and workbenches that here. There's for model development, there's data set, there's training, there's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. So these things are there, there's the products here. And there's so many, there's storage, a lot of these things. It's easy for you to maybe upload, makes it easy for you to upload data elsewhere, or if you have data elsewhere, you can, that is not in BigQuery, or that isn't in BigQuery, then you can basically load it on storage. Or if it's not a BigQuery, you can still get the data to be plugged into the BigQuery. All these things are possible. So, which means you have access to bucket loads of data you can work with. And also, there's so many opportunities, right, for you to learn a bunch of things. So many. There are so many solutions here. API services. If you're choosing to be a cloud engineer and you're trying to build applications and all, this is also a whole new opportunity for you to do stuff on the cloud. And I promise you, doing stuff on the cloud it scales, and that's why I figured, having this, having us move from data science to AI and cloud was really, really important at this point. All right, do we have any questions? Do you have any questions? Did you try signing up to this? Have you tried to use it? Have you had any challenges, questions? All right. If you have no questions, then we'll typically wrap up. We'll typically wrap up. But again, if you have questions, please feel free to share, or we just wrap up as quick as possible. All right, guys. If you have questions, please drop the question. You could also drop the questions in the Data Weekends channel. All right, go ahead.
I wanted to ask, how did you pin the items I saw on the side?
Okay. I mean, at the time, because I was using it a lot, right? You can pin it. You just basically come over here and just,
Okay.
pin.
Okay.
I remember then I was so excited. I was just pinning everything when I first started a long time ago. I was just pinning everything. Or if you just unpin them, but you can always come and see them, but you can pin them. I literally pinned everything.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Questions, guys? So you could just pin the things that you use regularly. These three areas really what I work with a lot. Questions? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the second session of the Data Science AI Cloud Sundays. If you found this really interesting, if you found this insightful, please drop a comment inside the Data Science channel, our WhatsApp channel, or our Telegram channel, whichever one you're in. If you feel like there's more to this, or you feel like, oh, this is so much and I'm getting overwhelmed, please feel free to share. Yeah, but again, remember, these are steps we're going to follow, then eventually get into scaling data science from your local device to the cloud. All right, then, guys, thank you so much. Remember, keep building. Every day is an opportunity for you to get better at what you do, right? So please keep building and keep improving on yourself. We're scaling, and as we're scaling, we're getting better at it. And it's important that you scale as you proceed, because scale is super important, right? You're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it so you can reach, a large population of people that need your help. And skill sets are really in short supply. So which means if you put your mind to this, especially in the tech space, you will become very relevant. All right, guys, all the best.